I just can't imagine. It couldn't be me, a black man voting for somebody who believes so deeply that black men are inferior to him.
In public life, he's been spewing hatred and division and particularly targeting people of color. Well, of course, it's disgusting and, it's not shocking in the sense that we've seen so much of this from Donald Trump for such a long time, his entire career.
John Legend just stood on national TV and called Trump a wannabe dictator with the intelligence of a toddler, while Melania sat there stone-faced in the audience. The Grammy winner didn't hold back, saying what many celebrities think but are too scared to say. Trump's response, a 3 a.m. caps lock Twitter meltdown calling Legend overrated and claiming Melania doesn't even know who he is. But the video tells a different story. Melania clearly knows exactly who Legend is, and her face during his takedown is absolutely priceless. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever notice how Trump loses his mind whenever a real celebrity criticizes him? It's like watching a toddler get told they can't have candy at the grocery store. When John Legend appeared on TV recently, he delivered the kind of calm, measured takedown that drives Trump absolutely crazy. Why? Because Legend has something Trump has desperately wanted his entire life, but could never get his tiny hands on: actual respect in Hollywood. Legend didn't even raise his voice when he systematically dismantled Trump's character, calling him selfish, racist, misogynist, and probably the worst liar we've ever seen in public life. The Grammy-winning artist just sat there, cool as a cucumber, speaking facts, while Trump probably screamed at his TV with a mouthful of hamburger.
Something else I appreciated was on Twitter the other day, seeing your response to being blocked by Donald Trump.
Of course, I mean, it was bound to happen.
How disgusted are you with Trump and the GOP's blatant continued dehumanization of immigrants?
Poisoning the blood of America. So what he's saying is the ideal version of America is a white America.
What makes this so delicious is the contrast between these two men. On one hand, you've got Legend, talented, hardworking, respected, a guy who earned every Grammy on his shelf. On the other hand, there's Trump, who spent decades begging Hollywood to let him sit at the cool kids' table. Our former president has a truly pathetic history of crashing celebrity parties, paying for photos with actual stars, and this is my favorite part, literally creating a fake persona to call tabloids and brag about himself. Talk about desperate. The Orange in Chief couldn't handle being called out by someone with actual talent. Instead of addressing Legend's criticisms like a grown-up, Trump went straight for Legend's wife, Chrissy Teigen, complaining about her filthy mouth. Nothing says I'm a serious political leader like whining about a model's potty language after being called racist on national television. Trump's reaction perfectly proved Legend's point. He can't engage with substance, so he throws tantrums instead. It's exactly why Hollywood has always kept him at arm's length. The man has the emotional regulation of a sleep-deprived 4-year-old. While Legend was busy creating music that moves people, Trump was rage tweeting at 3 a.m. like a teenager who didn't get invited to prom. Speaking of tantrums, Trump's meltdown was just half the show. The real entertainment came from Melania's reaction. When your spouse doesn't even bother defending you against public humiliation, it speaks volumes about what's happening behind those gold-plated doors. Throughout Legend's surgical takedown, cameras caught Melania with that signature emotionless expression we've all come to recognize. But if you watched closely, there was that tiny, almost imperceptible nod when Legend called Trump selfish, a facial micro-expression that launched 1,000 memes faster than Trump could reach for his phone. While Donald was furiously typing with those tiny thumbs of his, Melania's stone face became the internet's favorite new reaction gif. Not a single word of defense for her husband, not even a performative eye roll for the cameras.
I mean, was it bound to happen? Because I was kind of surprised that he actually blocked you. Were you?
I was surprised that
And anytime brown people infiltrate America, they're messing up the blood of America.
Well, of course, it's disgusting and, it's not shocking in the sense that we've seen so much of this from Donald Trump for such a long time, his entire career.
Just that slight, knowing smile that said more than any tell-all book ever could. The body language experts had a field day analyzing every blink and purse of her lips. Trump's response wasn't just embarrassing, it was what professionals call a masterclass in proving your critics right. Instead of countering Legend's points with actual facts or policy positions, he went straight to the kindergarten playbook of name-calling and tantrum throwing. The irony couldn't be more perfect. Legend calmly calls Trump childish, and Trump responds by acting like a child who just had his cookies taken away. The situation got even spicier when Chrissy Teigen entered the chat. While Legend kept it classy, his wife brought the perfect amount of internet chaos by tweeting that Trump was a PD ass bitch. A comment so iconic it literally made it into the congressional record. Imagine being so thoroughly owned that your insult exchange with a model becomes part of America's official historical documents. Trump's Twitter explosion was a wonder to behold. Random capital letters, sentences that started somewhere and ended nowhere, and punctuation that seemed to be inserted by a cat walking across a keyboard. All while Legend and Teigen were probably sharing a nice bottle of wine and laughing at their phones.
The one that got me blocked, because it was a very throwaway comment. I've definitely said worse, but yeah, it's so funny to me. It's so silly.
I just can't imagine. It couldn't be me, a black man voting for somebody who believes so deeply that black men are inferior to him.
It's not silly. He's our president, so it's kind of a big deal. But I'm not going to take glory in it for too long, because at the end of the day, he is our president. And
it's like watching someone bring a plastic spoon to an artillery fight. This whole saga perfectly illustrates why Hollywood has always given Trump the cold shoulder. While Legend and Teigen built careers through actual talent and authentic personalities, Trump's desperate need for the cool kids' validation makes him an easy target. He's the guy still trying to sit at the popular table long after high school ended, not realizing everyone's laughing at him, not with him. What's the real story behind this celebrity feud? Trump isn't just mad at Legend and Teigen because they criticized him. He's furious because they represent the Hollywood acceptance he's been chasing his whole life. This wannabe tough guy has been desperately knocking on Hollywood's door for decades, and they keep leaving him on red.
it's
An
getting
interesting
weird.
time we live in.
We are 6 months in, so
6
just doing the countdown.
months.
They're messing up the gene pool of America, and that takes us back to Hitler.
In public life, he's been spewing hatred and division, and particularly targeting people of color.
The saddest part? Trump's obsession with celebrity approval is so obvious that even as president, he couldn't hide his need to be part of the cool crowd. Every time he lashes out at celebrities who mock him, he's really just screaming, "Please like me." And that's the ultimate humiliation. Not that Legend took him down with facts, but that Trump's childish response confirmed exactly what Legend said. While Trump sits alone with his phone, seething over another celebrity rejection, Legend and Teigen don't even think about him until he posts something stupid. Sad.